Welcome everyone to this interview. And my name is Shan Ali. I am a mentor here at Young Innovators Network. And with me, I'm interviewing Daniya Syed. And without introducing her myself, I'd like Daniya to tell us more about herself, who she is, and what she does.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Danya. I was captain of Team Australia, and I'm super passionate about all things robotics and engineering. So I've been doing robotics for the past 6 years, and that's basically what I love to pursue.
Beautiful. Now, Danya, I know you have been part of many organizations and you have been part of many initiatives. And as you just mentioned, you were the captain of a team. And what team was this, and what were you doing?
So essentially, I've been part of my school's robotics team for the past 6 years, and I
Mhm.
had the opportunity to represent Australia previously at different robotics competitions. So Estonia and Japan, so both in 2018 and 2020. However, we actually got a massive opportunity earlier this year to be
Mhm.
selected to be part of the national team of Australia for robotics. And so essentially, we're selected to represent Australia as Team Australia at the FIRST Global Robotics Challenge, which is to be held in Geneva, Switzerland. And so essentially that competition invited teams from all across the globe, so 180 different countries, and they basically competed against each other in all different types of engineering um, challenges, which basically included like building a massive robot around 50 centimeters, programming it, and having it complete certain tasks.
Beautiful. And this is a massive initiative because once again, this is the so it's FIRST, which is the name of the organization, Global Robotics Competition. And this is a big achievement because you did actually win the silver medal winner. So congratulations.
Thank you so
And
much.
for this opportunity, what skills and knowledge did you need? Because for anyone else who's actually interested in doing robotics, in being a part of these sorts of competitions, what sort of skills and knowledge would they need? Could you please tell us?
So I did mention, so I've been doing this for the past 6 years now, and so essentially those skills that I took on with myself to this competition was actually everything that I gained the past 6 years. So that was both programming and mechanical, and overall, those were the kind of the skills that required for it to compete in this competition. But aside from all of this actual engineering skills, there was also skills of leadership and perseverance, because at times there were times that your robot perhaps didn't work or something had gone wrong. So that
Yeah.
perseverance would actually help you get over that.
Beautiful. And how was Switzerland like? I mean, Switzerland is an amazing place, and I want you to tell me more about the experience of Switzerland. Was it fresh? Was it new? How was the culture like?
Yeah. So Switzerland is absolutely beautiful. It's perhaps the most beautiful place I've seen that I visited. I actually had a special opportunity to actually sit my HC there. So I sat my English papers over there. So I got a special exemption from NESA. And so doing that simultaneously with the competition was an amazing experience, where I did my exam in the morning and I quickly ran to the exhibition hall for the competition an hour later. And so overall, it was an amazing experience, which we spent around like 20 days competing and preparing for the competition.
That's amazing, and everyone here, even in Australia, are very proud of you. And you're also very accomplished, being the winner of the Order of Australia medal. I'm like reading off a list here because there are many achievements. So
Yeah.
the Young Australian of the Year, MacArthur Young Championship Awards, and you're also awarded the title of the Western Sydney Young Woman of the Year. And these are great awards. And because this is because of your achievements and also because of your contribution to the community. Because outside of this, as you mentioned, you are a captain and you have been promoting STEM learning. And for example, you were the youth ambassador for an international charity, the Shahid 3D Foundation. And over here, you're promoting STEM learning. Could you tell us more about what you were doing in the Shahid 3D Foundation?
Yes, I've been active volunteer with Child Heritage Foundation ever since it's been established in Australia. However, I am also the youth ambassador for that charity, and we basically focus on a variety of different initiatives to help underprivileged people both in Pakistan and also in the local community. However, one of the initiatives that really drove me to become part of this organization is that they also help towards the education of young people. And so the initiative that I really focused on was providing STEM education to a lot of the underprivileged students in Pakistan. So we're talking about rural areas where there's barely any access to internet, or let alone know what Wi-Fi is. And so essentially, alongside with the organization, I helped raise funds and establish technology labs within these schools, which
Yeah.
basically help them come on par with the world. And so we do hope that moving forward, we do implement like robotics into those. But right now, at this stage, we're just teaching them about the basics of technology. And it was honestly an honor to be able to raise funds for such a cause.
once again, I know I don't want to keep repeating this, but we're very proud of you and what you've been doing. And I myself, I remember we were also working on the same thing, Young Innovators Australia. We were trying to work on something called STEM on Wheels, and we were trying to also help Pakistan in promoting STEM learning. And this is very important, especially for the youth as well, because having an international impact also sends a message about the importance of STEM learning. And beyond this as well, I'm also very inspired by your profile and your achievements. Could you tell us about the recent projects you've also been working on? And before you continue, I'm just going to quickly mention that. So Danya here has been working really hard and has used her learning to help other people and promote STEM learning all over the world. And Danya, correct me if I'm wrong. So you learned some of this by yourself, correct? Like this isn't just something I was just taught to you.
Yeah.
And as Danya is showing here, that you can learn this by yourself and you can take the initiative by yourself to try and learn and try and promote learning as well. And just confirming, Daniel, once again. So you've learned all of this by yourself. Could you tell us a little bit about how you learned this? And we'll go to your
Yeah.
projects in a second.
Yep. So in terms of learning all of this, I am actually super passionate about engineering. I'm not sure if that's been passed through in my conversation yet, but it all started around year 6, year 7, where I heavily got involved into. I think I actually started experimenting with programming. It was very basic at that time, just learning what HTML was. But then as I progressed to year 7 and joined my school's robotics team, I decided to up my game as I became completely obsessed with all things robotics and decided to venture into what basic block programming is. And essentially, through my competitions that I did, so we did regionals, states, nationals, and internationals. Through those competitions, I learned how what the different codes are and how to use different functions in block programming. And then I basically advanced to C+, where I decided to go a bit more line by line coding. So I did
Yeah.
C+, Python, and these were all programs that I did by myself. However, back in 2020, we started doing a more advanced version of robotics at school, where we were required to learn Java and JavaScript. And so I guess that was the time where I actually I learned from my robotics team, where we did watch YouTube videos and etc. But like you said, it's very much just if someone's passionate about something, they should really pursue it. And so there's videos out there that are available for anybody to view, to watch and learn. And obviously there's also coding classes you can attend. So in terms of like learning for others, I definitely recommend that you can perhaps, whether it's on the internet or etc.
If you don't mind as well, just wanted to ask, you mentioned a little bit about collaboration. Did you ever get to experience a collaborative learning environment where you worked with other people to learn something new? And if so, could you tell us a little bit more about that? Because you did mention that with Java and JavaScript.
Yep. So in terms of collaborative environment, like I said, the past 6 years, that's all been collaborative. We've had amazing team members, a lot of different variety of strengths in each team. And so we work together to collaborate on learning specific skill sets. So for example, some people would be really good at CAD and on a CAD and online graphics and all that, and which is really much of like a high importance and value in robotics, while some people were really like, advanced in programming. And so essentially, on that team, we had a lot of these type of individuals who were really strong in programming. And so thanks to them, I was able to learn about what CAD is and how to do Java and JavaScript and etc. And essentially, our coach also helped us teach it. He basically taught us basics of what Java is. And yeah.
So if you had any problems, you'd approach anyone who's strong in programming or you'd talk to your coach, right?
Yes, exactly.
Beautiful. So the value of a collaborative learning environment, from what I'm understanding here, is that one is that you can approach other people, you can talk to them about what you might be struggling with, and also you can teach it to other people. Did you get that experience with teaching other people coding, and how was that for you?
Definitely. Yep. So obviously it's great if you have all these skills, but it's not amazing if you can't teach it to someone else. So I do help mentor the junior teams at our school's robotics program, where I've been able to teach them Python and the Mindstorms programming and robotics. Essentially that too. And I've also worked alongside doing some coding classes here and there, teaching grades 3 to 5 and 7 to 10, programming basics of like, what Mindstorms is and what Python is.
So thank you, Danya. That was a lot you were telling us about learning as well, learning by yourself, mentoring other people. Now, could you tell us about your recent projects you've been working on? So tell us what they are, and also tell us how you might have made these systems and what inspired you as well.
Yeah. So I keep repeating myself, but the past few years I've been basically progressively building my skills in robotics, and I did that through robotics. the actual program at my school, the team, but also by doing side projects, mainly consisting of Arduinos and the C plus language. And so essentially, past few years, I've been making a lot of projects. My most recent ones were back in 2020, where I made the bionic hand, which was which I created a haptic glove, and it was a robotic hand where basically if I clenched my fist, it would also clench it due to the transistors and all the different technology that I was using. Alongside with that, my most recent project is Medibot, which is basically a personal healthcare assistant. It's a mini robot which basically takes care of an individual's vitals and health, such as heart rate, body temperature sensing, dispenses medicine. It also communicates with the user, such as, "Hi, I'm Medibot, your personal healthcare assistant. How can I help you?" And so essentially, this project was for my Year 12 DT project, which it's just been amazing to work on, and I've been working on the past year developing this. One of the biggest news I can perhaps share is that I was actually featured in Sydney Morning Herald for that project.
Oh.
And also I have been, alhamdulillah, shortlisted for the Shape 2022.
Sorry, someone was just talking to me on my right. Sorry about that.
Okay,
But you're talking about Medibot. Now, it sounds like you're describing to me something from Big Hero 6, like the, what's it
yes,
called?
exactly.
Baymax.
I actually I watched that movie back in year
Yeah.
3, and I walked out of the cinema and I was like, that's it. That's what I want to do. And so that's my whole life. That's what I've been working towards, making a Baymax for myself.
And so far, you've been doing an amazing job on that. And
Thank you.
you went into skills and knowledge. And other than that, I know we spoke about this a little bit before the interview, and you already spoke about it now, so I'm just going to skip past this. I was going to ask about Java, C++, and JavaScript, and I was going to ask how you learned this, but you pretty much went through that. So let's go past that. And I'm just going to mention that not just the community here in Australia, not just in Pakistan, you had a great influence worldwide as well on STEM learning, and which brings me to my final question. Now, you were learning in, was it a Unity Grammar? Was that the school? Yes. So you were learning Unity Grammar. Now the HSC is finished. You're going to go beyond your own school, and you're going to now either enter university or go overseas. What is your plans from now on?
Well, obviously, my plan in university is to pursue my passion. So I'm hoping to do mechatronics engineering in university. But that side, uni life aside, I do hope to continue coaching at my school's robotics team to kind of give back to that program that made me who I am today. And I'm also, alongside with that, I'm a active volunteer with the FIRST organization, where I do judging at multiple regional and national events. And so essentially that's what the major thing was, is that I hope to kind of give back to the robotics community the way it's kind of helped me grow. So that's what my plan is.
That's very admirable. And how did you manage your time, especially with the HSC exams?
Yes. So I guess you could say it was a massive roller coaster ever since trials, because I had my trip, the big massive competition that came up, and alongside with my HSC. So in terms of managing, I made sure to prioritize both, because even though my love is robotics and passion, I need to ensure my education is high to ensure I can continue what I'm passionate about. And so managing time was essentially, I would go to school, ensure during school hours that I got all my content down. I did practice papers during school times. After school, I had robotics. On the weekend, I had robotics. And then so essentially, any free time I had, I would be studying. That was kind of how it worked in terms of managing time. Yeah.
So once again, thank you, Daniya Syed, for coming here and allowing us to interview you. I learned a lot from talking to you as well myself, and I pray your success with many of your projects, including Medibot. And other than that, I hope you can also interact with organizations such as Young Innovators Australia in the future. We'll try and organize sessions where you can teach us and also help the youth. And talking more about the youth, you are a great inspiration for the youth, including myself. So do you have any message to the youth before we close this interview?
I guess my biggest message is to pursue what you're passionate about, regardless like what it is, and to ensure that if you're passionate about something, to go all the way. And I think the biggest example I can give in my life is that I did the HSC and my robotics competition on the same day. And that's something a lot of people during the HSC, they take away what they're passionate about, and they're like, no, I need to focus on my exams, and I stop doing what I'm passionate about. However, I give this message that I hope that whoever is going to HSC now after me is that you can still do what you're passionate about at the exact same time. It's nothing that you need to like stop it for. So yeah, that's I think my message.
No worries. Thank you, Daniya, for coming here once again. And I hope Daniya was an inspiration for everyone and that you can learn something from listening to Daniya's experience. Now I'm going to close this interview, and once again, thank you and goodbye to everyone that's been here, and thank you.
Thanks.